Okay, more questions about functions. Can a function output a number more than once with different inputs? Yes. For example, if f of x is the squaring function, then we have f of 4 is 16 and f of negative 4 is also 16. It's a perfectly good function. So on a table of values, we would see four, 16, and negative 4, 16. Okay. On a set of ordered pairs, we would see 4, 16 and negative 4, 16. This is a perfectly good function. We might see other ordered pairs also with dots. Okay, can a function have two outputs for one input? No. If f of 3 equals 7, then f of 3 can't also be 11, for instance. Okay, so on a table of values, what would I see? You would see something like 3 with 7 and also 3 with 11. This is not a function. Incidentally, if we saw another 3, 11, that would not be a problem. Because that's one input, one output. If it was just 3 11s, if it was, the problem is when you have an input with two different outputs. Okay, on an set of ordered pairs. So I'll just put this in another color here. This is okay. 2 copies of 3, 11. Okay, so in a set of ordered pairs, we would have something with the same input and different outputs. They don't have to be right next to each other, but somewhere. Okay, so some examples of not a function. And what's called the vertical line test. So if I have a graph, let me just give an example. Here's my relation that may or may not be a function, and it is not, because if I draw it, for instance, this vertical line, it hits the thing twice, maybe at 2, 2 and 2, 4, for example. So 2 points which are vertically aligned means the relation fails to be a function. It fails the vertical line test. Okay, so a couple of examples of things that are functions. This, for example, is a function. The open circle indicates the value is missing there. So the only value would be up at the top. Would be, let's highlight it as this one. Just a note, if you don't have open circles, you do fail to be a function. Okay. Another kind of thing that is allowed is what's called an asymptote, and we'll talk about that a lot later, but right now, just be aware, this is a function. An asymptote is a line that the function approaches but never touches. So for instance, the y-axis here, the curve curves up and it gets close to the y-axis, but it doesn't actually touch it. This is a function. 0 is not an allowed input. So just so you'll know. And just for your information, this is a graph of 1 over x squared.
And you can't divide by 0, which is why the 0 is not allowed.